I buy a $2,000 flight just to sleep.
Do for free at home lah, what the heck?
If you don't know what you want in life, then that becomes a problem.
I feel like at 32 years old, I got it all lah.
This is the exact thoughts I won't want to have.
Why is everybody so freaking tired? This is your daily Ketchup. Boom. So there was a recent article that we came across that Sherms found that talks about how 2 in 3 Singaporeans planning to travel with the goal of catching up on shut-eye. Means you go overseas to sleep, eh?
Siao.
Hells yeah.
Just sleep
I mean, not just sleep, but I guess it would be one of the main interests. Instead of going overseas to like, I want to go see this, I want to go see that.
So
one
I
of your
find-
main things to do there, right, is actually stay in a hotel.
Do for
and
free
sleep.
at home lah, what the heck?
That's where you're wrong.
Wait, so I buy a $2,000 flight to US just to sleep in the hotel?
$100 per night.
Okay, so in the article, right, they have an example. 33-year-old Priya Ilangovan has been booking short trips to Indonesia's Bintan and Batam Islands for a night or two to catch up on sleep as a way to de-stress from her demanding media industry job. I feel you, Priya.
We relate.
Okay, so according to a survey by Booking.com, 67% of Singapore-based travelers who want to travel in 2024 are booking trips solely with the focus on getting a good night's rest. And to answer your question, while most Singaporeans try to catch up with sleep on the weekends, experts told Today newspaper that the quality of sleep matters and travelling to a new place helps to disconnect from the home and work environment.
Is that deep sleep and that REMs, dude?
Yeah.
I feel it.
I really overseas, I like drew like and like I really like, I don't know how why I think I enjoy myself too much, right? When I reach the Airbnb or hotel, right? Immediately I knock off. Bam.
Just to throw in an added statistic, right? Is 4 in 10 Singaporeans are not getting enough sleep on
Which is
weekdays.
2 in 5.
Which is, yeah, so that means out of the 3 of us here, 3 people are sleeping quite well.
Who's the one? Because it's not me. No, I think I can understand why. Because like, at least for our company, right, we are lucky enough to like, when we go on holiday, the rest of the team doesn't touch that person in terms of like, I don't know, other jobs you may be going overseas on holidays, people might still text you for something. Hey, sorry to bother you, but can you talk about this? Here, we are completely hands off. When I went to Japan earlier this year, no one talked to me about work for 7 days, and that's why I had the peace of mind. People are handling it at home.
Wait,
lah.
I didn't
Then you
text
got
him.
wonder whether we don't actually need you or not.
I was about
Okay,
No, but
the-
you are enough.
Okay, but the point of this episode today and why I thought it was interesting to bring this up is because I think somewhere down the line, our experience having worked for quite a while already, we have all encountered an experience like this, right? Where we feel maybe burnt out, not well rested, or struggling with this, some form of fatigue. I do think that there are several factors that play into this, okay? And I want to explore that a bit more. Do we want to talk about the vacationing stuff first? Or do we want to talk about the resting stuff?
Ooh, good choices.
Vacation.
We got-
Vacation!
Vacation sounds fun!
Summer end of the year, just like
So when it comes to vacationing, right, and when I hear this, right, it reminds me of like how I think towards the last 5 years of my life, right, whenever I go for holiday, right, I don't really feel rested when I go for vacation.
Or it's like going to Malaysia weekend trip. Is that considered a vacation?
even
Yeah,
Vietnam,
it is.
Ah.
A getaway.
Getaway.
Yeah, you need me to find definition of vacation.
But is staycation a vacation?
Yes.
Really?
It's a getaway.
As long as I don't sleep in my own bed, it's a vacation.
Which is why I find it fascinating because when later on when we talk about a bit more about rest, right, it's trying to be able to define what that is for people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people assume that rest means sleep, but it's not necessarily that. In fact, sometimes, right, if you just try and resolve it by resting, thinking that it's sleep, right, you're going to actually feel less rested, which is a very big problem because, and this is something that most adults are not taught to begin with, especially in Singapore. Yeah, where the focus has always been on just like work, and then your rest time is for you to, other thing. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure if you know what you mean.
No, like go and like get wasted because you only have like that one Friday night, that weekend, before, I need to go back to work already, kind of nonsense.
Okay, my background is that I never traveled much growing up, like ever. The only place I go is like school CIP trip, that kind, right? Or it's like I've been to China maybe 2 or 3 times to visit family, that kind.
Yeah.
So I never traveled growing up. And then now that I have the disposable income to be able to travel, and I've done maybe 2-3 trips over the past 2 years, right?
Nice.
It feels like I cannot waste my plane ticket. I pay $700, I go there, then every day I must pack my day so that I can like maximize, I must see everything that I need to see in Japan within 2 days.
Yeah.
And then, so it always feels like at the end of the day, although I see all this stuff, right, when I get back, right, my mind is very like exhausted.
Honestly, physically also, because you're trying to check off so many things
Yeah.
on your bucket list or whatever when you're going to travel, right? Then you spend the whole day walk like one dog, right? Carry so many shopping bags and like eat so much rubbish and all that,
Yeah.
right? You also physically, when you come back already, you're like, I need to take one more day off
Yeah,
just to
it's the extra day.
No, but I
Yeah.
have a theory of why you, in the past 5 years, have been feeling like very tired when you go for
Bring it,
a vacation.
pedal pop boy.
How long have the vacations been? Average.
3
What?
days.
Some are 1 day, some are 3 days, some are 2 weeks.
Okay, I think I can answer the 1 and the 3 day one. I think that the length of the vacation / holiday is tied to like how tired you will be.
Yeah, huh?
Because like if you have 1 day, 3 day, then you are really going to PR everything you can into it. But if you have a longer, like say like 2 weeks, right? Then okay lah, maybe you can just take 1 day. We've been traveling for 3 days. We still got another 1 week. Let's just take this 1 day to relax lah.
This is how Jerry will respond. Wrong.
Have I ever said that?
He's
Shish
wrong. No
kebabs.
lah. I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I do think that some people, for some instances, that might be the case. And early on, I would agree. But in the last 5 years, which is the later half of my life now that of traveling,
You're
right?
gonna die.
The later half of my life
64?
traveling.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's the issue. Like, I've also read online that like 7 days is actually the cap for how long you should spend in a foreign country because past that, right, a lot of the magic of traveling and exhaustion and all this kicks in already. So you shouldn't go too long. Either that or like 1 week here, then you have to move to another place.
Just a change of scenery lah.
But and a different adventure also. Yeah.
Oh, my 2 days must change already.
Yeah,
Depends on where you go,
your
depends on where
Japan
you-
itinerary, I
But
cannot
prior
do
to
it.
that, right, like the short holidays for me have actually sometimes been very rewarding in a sense because I know that it's just a short trip and I know a clear goal that I have in mind. So for example, if it's just a beach holiday where I want to, for example, like do some reflection and just have my me time, then shout out Foodpanda. Then that's the goal already. 2 days is enough for me. I know that it's enough. I don't need to rush. I don't need to stress. I'm not packing my itinerary and trying to chiong. There have also been the instances where I know that it's 2 days of just let's get hammered and go and party like one dog, right, and clear a lot of like checklists, right? And then that is the objective. When that is clear for me, then it didn't seem to be a problem.
I only feel tired on the first day and the last day of the trip. Because last time when I travel, right, before I got a full-time job, right, I think that's the best travel already. Because when you come back, right, it's like whatever, like you can sleep for 2 days, you can don't unpack your luggage.
Class lah.
No class also.
Wow.
Like graduate already. But then once you have a job, right, number one, the leave damn important. Only got like minimum amount of leave. So like I try to maximize, with the public holiday already, right? So like by the time I land, right, maybe 5 more hours, then I go work, that kind of thing.
That is
Like, I
crazy.
try to
That's why she did
maximize.
this on Monday.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the last day very shag. Because it's like from the plane, right, straight away, wow, work. And then the day before the trip, very stressful because number one, I'm a last minute packer.
Oh, me too.
Because I have no time, I like try to clear my work, and then by the time I go home, I must like throw everything in my luggage, and then go to the airport, custom, and then put like queue up, and then put the luggage on the plane, right? Then only when I'm there, then I feel like, like only when I reach the hotel at the place, then I feel relaxed.
It's the leave thing that makes me feel like I also need to make sure I plan properly, don't waste my leaves.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when you talk about some trips, right, you plan for just to rest, or some is for like when you drink party kind of. Then right,
You drink drunk by the
Drink,
way.
drink,
drunk. I don't know why you're drinking the last one. Trying to put a some spin on it.
Sorry. Yeah, but anyway, so I feel like I cannot afford that because I need to count my leave. Like if I'm gonna go for rest vacation, right, it better be like, oh, might as well, since I'm taking leave already, might as well go and see the ocean. I don't know, go to a party or whatever. So I will pack everything. And I also feel like when I travel, right, I have this productivity anxiety. When I wake up, I must wake up at 8 a.m., eat the breakfast, right? Then I come home around 1 a.m.
It's a very real thing. When I first started, also like back when like Denise mentioned earlier on, right, about how like I already spent the money, I better make the full use of it, get the most out of this experience, right? That pressure comes from obviously like limited time, right? Limited resources like maybe financially or whatever also, and then all of that pressure is like forcing you to like, I need to make this fun. I need to make this trip worth it. And that pressure is exactly what you're talking about. But I think that's because of a certain mindset shift that hasn't happened. The whole idea, right, is because we look at work as an end, and then we look at rest or time away from work as another end. But it doesn't work isolated one. It's actually a cycle. So like this is like from some quote from like Aristotle or some shit, right? But
What?
Aristotle or some shit is what he said.
Aristotle.
Aristotle.
The great philosopher.
Philosopher.
Yeah.
Okay. So he essentially okay, and first of all, okay, just disclaimer here. We are talking from a point of like privilege, the fact that we have like can make enough money,
Very
can have time, go
blessed, very
holiday,
blessed.
blah blah blah. Okay, you understand?
What is Aristotle full-time job?
Philosopher?
He just sit there and think, bro.
Oh, he's not the guy who bring the rock up the mountain one.
No. That's syphilis. No.
Syphilis is
That's
your
what he
drink drunk thing.
So what he is trying to articulate, right, in this fucking long passage that I'll try to shorten, right, is that it is only in your leisure time that you can realize your full potential. And that will allow you to translate into work as well. So it's a cycle. If you're still awake at this point of the video, give us a subscribe.
This part of the video is like 2 minutes in.
Wake up!
No choice, you're trapped. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
And we will go back to this wonderful episode. Don't fall asleep. When you're thinking about your own lives now, right? Outside of work, right? Are you actually constructively working towards improving your own life or not?
That sounds so stressful.
Yeah,
No,
that
no.
sounds even more stressful
The
than the
words-
other thing.
The word sounds stressful, yes. But what is work for? It's solely so that you have the resources to pursue what you want to in life. If you don't know what you want in life, then that becomes a problem. So that's where you need to find out what makes you happy, for example, is something that you discover outside of work. Right? But if you choose to negate that because you think that, okay, I work already, now this is after work, this is my time, right? But I choose to waste it away mindlessly scrolling through and consuming entertainment and all this rubbish, right? You are simply distracting yourself from actually finding out what really makes you happy, you see?
But you're talking from a very like self-improvement angle of like yeah, let's use the resources I gain from work to kind of boost myself as a person upstairs. But what if like my passion is playing game, and then I get my pay, I buy a PS5, and then I spend my leisure time just playing my favorite game, and that gives me fulfillment.
Sure.
So that one can
simple
also.
dreams.
But I feel like that is with the pretext that you see work as a means to an end. So I was just thinking about this the other day, right? That like, you know, John believes that in future it's gonna be a AI world, a robot world where robots are our servants and we will not need to work a single day in our life. Then I'm wondering, right, if it comes to that, right, like am I able to not work or not? Like will I enjoy like not working? And then I find
You mean retirement?
No, but I find myself like saying no. Like I feel like I'll be so bored out of my mind,
Yeah.
right? Like I need like work to me, I think is like that routine that I can go back to that will also stimulate my mind.
Yep.
Is
That's
that
why we come back to the concept of Ikigai,
Huh?
where you have like the what's the 4 quadrant? What you are passionate about.
What
You
you're
started
good
off very
at.
knowledgeable, but then it's
What you're passionate about, what you're good at,
Yeah.
something that society needs, and then it pays.
Correct.
These 4, if you can
I
find
remember.
something that can meet all these, then that is your Ikigai.
Passion, mission, profession, vocation.
whoa, shush.
And
Vacation.
that's what makes you the happiest.
Vocation,
according
not
to
vacation.
Or like
Ikigai.
work trips.
Yeah.
Sorry, find something in each of these areas or find something that is a Venn diagram.
Ideally,
A
it's
Venn.
the Venn diagram.
Yeah. It's the cross section of all
correct.
4.
Ikigai.
Damn, that's crazy.
And also to clarify, right, when I talk about it being constructive with your rest time, right, it's not like, okay, I need to be overly productive. I need to make sure that all my rest time and my spare time is used to be like developing myself and working on this kind of thing. Constructively means that if you know that you need to allocate, for example, that day to not do anything also, to do nothing, that is also part of it.
Actually, I resonated with what John shared in his recent vlog on the couple channel. Subscribe.
Sitting alone in your car.
Yeah, jump back
No,
cross.
I do that.
Yeah, everybody does that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't do
Or the
that?
car
I
thing.
know.
right?
don't ever
No, it's decompressing.
I get it.
I
Look
need to
at the MRT.
compress you out the Grab driver.
I resonated because I felt like there was a period in my life, right, where I was like super chiong. Like every moment that I'm not at work, I'm freelancing at home. And then
Wow,
it took me a very long time to even figure out how to rest. Because it's like, even if I watch a movie, right, high chance, right, I hate the way this thing is shot. Then like I don't like the way that they do this thing. Then the plot, why go this way, that kind. Then I'm critiquing the whole thing. So that I cannot even rest by watching show.
I get that, yeah.
Then it took me a long while, right, to learn how to, in a sense, do nothing properly.
The solution is to rewatch show.
Yeah.
So I watch Modern Family at least 10 times. I watched a particular episode, the Disneyland one.
Oh, I love
Because
that one.
it's my favorite episode, right? So every time I want to decompress, I watch the same episode.
Is
I
it the
laugh at
shoe
same-
one?
Yeah.
shoe one.
Yeah.
I laugh at the same jokes.
Yeah, I can only watch Bob's Burgers when I eat food. And I watch it like
When you watch it outside of that, it's like, what the f?
it's like anything like that. Then like I've watched all like 13 seasons at this point, right? Like 5 times over already. Until my wife, right, she's like, "Oh, you're making another round already." Then like this is the episode.
How come
the
you still
episode.
episode 1? No, this is my third time.
Yeah.
But then I feel like, right, I pendulum swing to the opposite. So I from like don't know how to rest, right, to I feel like I
Know how to
2
rest.
legs already. I start feeling guilty about it. That like, shit, is it I'm not doing enough?
Wow, the you're not doing enough part is a bit how do I put it?
Toxic.
The simplest solution is the best
I
solution.
always attack it by saying it's a Singaporean thing, right?
But go ahead.
Okay, not to say Singaporeans are overachievers,
It's a
but
capitalism
try to
thing.
be. It's like something that's ingrained in us a little bit.
Yes.
Like kiasu.
So when you keep thinking that like, if right now, right, if I stop, somebody else is going to get ahead. Yeah, it's a very strange competitive like mindset, right?
Yes,
And that whole idea of competitiveness and comparison, right, is damn toxic. Because even like, this took me a while to understand also, right? And sometimes I still do this because of the nature of social media and a lot of other factors, right? But I always compare myself to other people. And it took me a long time to realize that the only person I need to compare myself with is myself. You talked about Ikigai just now, but there are many other Japanese like techniques and all this, right? One of them is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically every day if you can improve by just 1% in any aspect of your life is fine. And it's not about being hyper productive. It could be realizing that you're trying to overachieve. It could be just that 1%, right, is maybe I put in an effort to foster a slightly closer relationship with somebody that I care about. All your aspects of your life, that kind of thing, right?
Kaizen.
Kaizen!
Animal Kaizen.
No, Jujutsu Kaizen.
Oh, sorry.
Jujutsu.
No, but why must I be better? Like, must I, as a human, must I constantly be better? Because I feel like that stresses me out. Like, I feel like, shit, today I never do anything to even meet that 1%. I can't even meet that 1%.
No, honestly, that's an interesting question. Should you constantly be striving to better yourself? Or is it okay to just settle?
Like, settle is a very negative.
No lah, I
word.
think it's
like,
a mix of both lah. Like I think there should be that Kaizen mindset most of the time, but acknowledge that there are going to be times where you need to kind of
Be
not
comfortable.
Kaizen.
If you think that you don't have to constantly improve yourself and you don't feel that fulfillment from there, right? Then that's fine.
But it's not a complacency, you know? It's not like I think I'm the best already.
No,
It's just I
it's
feel
a
like...
satisfaction
Yeah.
with where you are now
Just being
or wherever
contented.
you are lah.
No, but some people call that lazy, you know.
Yeah.
Then there's
But
other
that's
people's
other
problem.
people. You don't need to
Or
compare to
settling
yourself.
lah.
Other people. You see, these are the things, right, that make people feel like
These are the negative
I
words.
cannot be happy
This
with
is
where
why
I am.
Singaporeans cannot
Yeah,
rest.
this is
Yeah.
the pure like example of it.
Yeah, so I'm saying
So
like
when you
even
look
the
at yourself-
mindset of self-improvement, right,
Yeah.
is tiresome.
I agree that there's this wave of toxic self-improvement and all that kind of bullshit, right? But that aside, at the end of the day, right, are you really not striving to improve yourself or work on? If not, you're saying that you're perfect already, ma.
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm just saying
not-
I'm okay where I am.
I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
So no, agree with acceptance, but is there nothing that you can be working on to better yourself or your relationships or your life or whatever? And then there's something that you just don't want to work on?
No, I think need, but I don't want to think about it every second of every day. So maybe only when I play those kind of card game, then I like or reflect upon
Epiphany
my
time.
relationship. Oh, sure, yes, improve. But then other than that, right, I feel like it's damn tiring to every day think about how to improve yourself. Every single day, every single second, do something. Like why can't we just be happy, like settling for a while and then slowly get back to? That's why I got New Year's resolution, ma.
No, my thing is, right, some people just don't need, like for you is don't have to think about it all the time, but some people
Yeah.
are just happy not to think about it at all.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right.
like I can, let's say everyone, right, when you start working, right, you want to climb the corporate ladder, you need to be a leader, you need to be something. Not me. I just want to be comfortable with where I
Salaryman.
am.
Yeah, if you use salary as like
Yeah.
an example,
And
like
I'm
some
not
people
saying
are
I'm
okay
slacking,
earning 3.5
Correct.
and then that's it.
I'm not saying I'm slacking. I'm saying I'm going to do my best in my role, but I don't have dreams of becoming a leader, to take on leadership roles and all that. Man.
So for the individual, in all other aspects of their life is also the same. They are just
Same
everything.
attitude.
Yeah, everything they okay. It's just we will all just stagnate that way.
I'm
Yeah.
content with where I am in
I'm
life.
content to go
That kind of
run,
person.
go for a jog once a week instead of like 5 times a week.
No,
to
but
get the
it's
body.
your vocab that is wrong. It's like it's not a stagnant thing. It's not a settling thing.
As much as I completely understand this because I've also been through it, right?
Yeah.
But whenever I go through that plateau, like it leads me to a point where I'm then unhappy. Because I feel like there's why are you alive?
Yeah.
Why are you alive living in the same cycle every day?
Welcome to
Well, that's why I
nihilism.
think people like you, right,
Yeah.
are meant to be leaders one.
Yeah, you are the
Because
self-improvement
you're
kind.
the visionary. You're the one at the top. You're the one like going up. Let's go up. Let's go up. And then you put
Captain
people
America.
like us who are like
Okay
content,
lah, yeah, we're
content.
contented.
and then
Okay,
you put one-
whatever you want, we just do.
That's why, right? You,
Please lah.
that's why there are different people in the world, right? If
Yeah.
everybody is like you, right? Everybody there's no ceiling, but then like you're the first person to vision this and then
No,
everywhere
if you
we
extract
are.
this from work, right, and you apply this to your
Yeah.
personal life, you as a human being,
Yeah.
is the same thing.
As in, why must I be better if I just not be bad? You know, like I feel like as in, I never kill anybody. I never like do anything to harm anybody. I just chugging along at, like a train, right? Then why must I constantly learn to be? How can I communicate with this person better when I feel like based on feedback or whatever, my communication has been okay.
But wouldn't that mean that every single time you meet up with, say, this friend,
Yeah.
you're going to end up talking about the same thing over and over again? The moment you introduce something new, because you're trying to shake things up or move it somewhere, then that is the change already, what?
No, but I'm saying that that new thing that you are introducing is not something that I actively seek out.
But
It
that is
like
the
I read
effort, though.
something that I like, oh, okay, like, hey, you got read about this, that day or not. Then there's still different things to talk about. Instead of like, oh, okay, now I must go and like look at this. Is there something
but
new we can talk
identifying
about?
something different to talk about and
Yeah.
bringing it up with that person
Yeah.
is that effort, right?
No, so you're like open to change, but not seeking
Yeah.
change.
I don't
is
think,
what you're
again,
saying.
right, and I feel like we are very, how do I say, maybe the terminologies here are not the smoothest.
Yeah.
Okay, let me phrase this. Effort doesn't mean exhausting.
Yes.
Same as how we are trying to redefine, like how rest doesn't mean don't do anything.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So being constructive with your life also doesn't mean that it has to be like I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm trying to be productive. I'm overworking. It's more of what is the approach and whether or not there is somewhat of maybe potentially a plan. But if you are just chucking it aside, right, and just saying like, "Yo, let it happen, man," whatever comes, then there is like that. Is that the approach to life?
It's a valid one.
It's
Yeah.
one approach to life.
It might be mine.
Oh no, we know.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Then I guess yeah,
We know.
yeah.
As in, I feel like it's because of that perceived need to always be improving, right?
Yeah.
That is what is stressing people out and what is making people think that they are not doing enough.
Remind me of job interviews.
Well, like what?
Like, as in, cause I'm quite content being where I am, but every time when I go for a job interview, right,
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'm so stressed out because that's not what I think. But sometimes I have to like you have to say how you're going to improve the company. What you did in the last year for yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What you try to improve. Then I feel like it kind of like makes me more stressed if I do get the job. Then I have to do something.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
I think the problem here is that rest is not being contented or like stagnant, right? It's not celebrated versus when you're always improving yourself. You're always doing this, reaching for another higher, another new level, right? Then that is celebrated.
my
That's why
favorite-
we feel guilty.
My favorite pastor said this actually, that like we don't celebrate consistency enough. Like people always say, oh my God, you lost weight, like compared to the last time they see you. But then nobody says, hey, you maintain your weight. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm consistently going to the gym in order to maintain this
true.
weight.
It's
We
so
don't
hard.
celebrate consistency.
So every time he perm his hair, I must say, hey, you kept the curls.
Okay.
did.
So I found this line on Quora which I thought was quite interesting, and I think the word we've been looking for a minute already is
Alright.
ambition.
Yeah. What
So
girls
really,
want
ah.
in a
So,
man.
so the line here is that there's a difference between being ambitious and having an ambition or aim in life. If you do not know where you want to go, any road will take you there, right? And then the follow-up here is that you do not have to aim for being high and mighty, because that rarely brings happiness. But you do need to think about where you want to be in, like, for example, a year, 3 years, 5 years, or whatever, and then create a path with milestones.
What if I want to be where I'm at now?
Yeah, that's my question. It's like, where if I'm already at my destination? I feel like at 32 years old, I've kind of somehow got it all. You know, like I have a wife, I have a dog, I have my house already. I don't really need a car. So, I mean, if anyone who's watching this has also reached the same position as me, leave it in the comments below lah. Wow, I also want to know.
Are you the only
You're
one?
Am I the only one?
the
Am I
Most
special?
successful man in Singapore.
No, I feel like this is the next big problem already because everybody wants that dink life, right? I feel like since all of us not having kids, right, then like what's next?
We're overpopulated anyway.
Yeah.
Like we don't know when to retire, so we just work.
No,
work,
don't
work.
even care about the human race. That one no problem. One. It's more of how are you going to spend the next
30 years.
however long of your existence.
The world will move with whether I do anything or not, what, and I will just go with the flow lah. That's what I believe. That's my plan.
Like forever stay in Pasir Ris.
If I
Nothing
could,
needs to by right, nothing needs to change.
Yeah,
Like,
If
every
I
day
could,
it's the
ah.
same day over and over again.
I would. And I feel like I have been living like I recently just today actually is my 4th year anniversary with my wife.
Hey, congratulations!
And like nothing has really changed from the 1st year to the 4th year lah.
And you're happy.
And I'm so happy.
What? It's such an apt jacket.
Yeah, that's
We
why he
are-
really wear the correct shirt today.
Enough. Yeah. So like really every day, right, is like, oh, if this was a film, right, you will show the same thing. Like
Groundhog Day.
yeah, it's like I wake up, I go work out, I go walk the dog, then I go to work, then I come home, I kiss my wife, we walk the dog, she go to sleep, I go play game, or whatever is my obsession for that time, and then repeat. And I'm
then-
okay with that.
Yeah, but usually movie will have a twist, man. Because there's a problem with that. This is just
Stay
the
tuned. Stay
They
tuned.
zoom out, then suddenly the music a bit wonky.
Then we're in the second act now.
Yeah.
You're only at the end of the first act at this point.
Oh my god! Sorry, this whole conversation, right? I don't know whether this is it, but now my theory is
Let's
that
go.
right, you don't know what you don't know.
Okay.
The problem with that is that if you're not willing to put yourself out there to expose yourself to the stuff you don't know, then you will always be trapped in this bubble. In fact, right? Wait, let me find. I think I have a
English idiom. For this.
bijou.
It's the frog at the below.
Comfort
the
zone map. So this comfort zone map, right? What it's illustrating is that within the smallest circle is your feel safe and in control zone. Then you have your fear zone where you will feel acting like lacking confidence, excuses, opinions. Then you will move towards learning zone of knowledge, new skills, challenges. And then at the growth zone is where you are able to live your dreams, find your purpose and goals, right? To me, right, like there are so many aspects of our lives. There are many different games that we're all going to play. Like sometimes you want to learn a new skill. Sometimes you want to be able to experience new things and all that, right? All of that falls towards the outer zones. I've lived a life where I have been trapped within the red and the blue zones before. And when I was there, right, that's what I told myself, which is that I don't need to know anything more. But once I got past those, right, then suddenly it's like now I'm so grateful for so many things that I wasn't even able to see before. It's like experiencing new dimensions, right? Yeah. Like the layers of depth when it comes to emotions and relationships with people and all this kind of thing, right? Like those are all things that I previously was just on the surface. To me, it's just, oh, you friendly, me, I friendly, you, you know, or you happy, I happy, But then later on, only when I go through struggles and I actually push myself through those like barriers, right, and obstacles, then I start to learn that like, oh, there's so much more nuance when it comes to relationships, and then it makes me appreciate that the what looks simple on the surface a lot more.
But is there a need to complicate everything?
I don't think there's a need to complicate things. I think things are inherently, for the most part, complex.
Yes.
And it's the ability to explore and understand that. But from what I hear sometimes, it's no, f it, this is what it is on the surface. I don't want to explore it because that's going to take work.
I guess the best example I can have is like the best example of me stepping, like I'm usually in this red zone, right? I think that's quite
Evident.
quite evident. But I think when I went to go try a new job, I completely like hit the growth zone. Something just felt like off lah, and like I felt like this is not where I belonged, and maybe that caused me to kind of recoil back into the red zone of comfort and like realize that maybe the red zone isn't so bad.
No, but could that be the case of like you are still half like 1 foot in the blue zone and you need to push through that, right? Where you can then realize like that full potential and there's a whole new you to be discovered there.
And it's also the danger, right, when it comes to this, right, is that, I mean, when you look at some people and their ability to share so much of their life experience, right, it's because that's what life is, ma. It's a collection of lived experiences, regardless of failure or success, right? But being in the safety bubble of sorts, right, that limits your life by so much. If say, I mean, this is not going to happen, but if say I fire you tomorrow, what are you going to do? This is your purpose. What else do you have if you already feel that like you went out there and then there was option 2 you tried, cannot, you go back to option 1. What if option 1 doesn't exist?
Yeah, if you shake out my red zone, then I've got no choice to move out into the other zones and go find something new, right?
Sure. So that means you have to be forced into the green zones by external factors.
Yeah, I think my mindset is that multiversal theory. In another universe, I could have been a great civil servant with all the skills I've learned and everything, and I do my job great, I'm earning a lot of money, but I think life is too, I mean, from my perspective, why I stay in the red zone most of the time is that I feel like I only have one life, and I'm going to just like be happy because being in this comfortable space makes me feel comfortable.
Safe and happy.
Safe and happy. Safe and
Okay,
sound.
okay.
I feel like it's okay to stay in the red zone, but life will just push you out of the red zone. Then you will grow off, and then you come back to the red zone, then life will push you out. Then you just
Actually, it is a constant expansion that we might be missing. Something that my pastor said before. Sorry, not sorry that I bring it to the Christian. As in, 'cause it just guides a lot of my life values.
It's okay, praise the Lord.
But so, amen. So I have to say it.
Only one. The rest all.
Thank you.
I say in my heart.
Quietly, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's
So,
okay.
as
What
in,
you ju-
I think it always comes to a place where we feel like we are so happy in wherever we are, right? That we are overflowing onto like the people around us, and then like everyone can feel like that positive vibes and whatever. And then there comes periods in my life where I'm like, all of a sudden, how come I don't feel as fulfilled? And then you're wondering, oh shit, is it like I am missing something? I'm doing something differently, and then like now like if it's a bowl, right, then the amount of water or fulfillment that has filled is like gone down again. Like it spill until like it all went down. But then my pastor said like, no lah, like in these situations, what could have also happened is that your bowl size just increased.
Yeah.
Which is why you feel less fulfilled, but that's because now there is
Need to eat more.
more different ways to be fulfilled for
Yep.
you. And then you just like, it's that constant exploration of like, what are these different things that can then make me overflow again? And then at the same time, your bowl size will increase again.
Then is the goal in life, or not say goal, but is the ideal situation in life for your bowl to be as big as possible?
If that makes you happy, right? If your expectation of the size of the bowl is a teacup,
Yeah.
and I'm happy with the teacup, then I think okay lor.
So given this, using this analogy again, right? And
Yeah.
we are just really anyhow snowballing this. Is
Aristotle.
your teacup will only allow you to taste so many things,
Yeah.
right? And eat so many things in your life.
Correct.
But the bigger your bowl is, the more you will be able to experience
Correct.
this and all
Yeah.
of that, right?
Yes.
No, but I think the difference is that some people are actively seeking to expand their cup size.
Don't say.
But
Jared
then-
really enjoyed that one.
But then
No,
other
but Jared
people,
doesn't want. Jared,
No, my cup grows naturally.
yeah. Sorry. Your cup grows naturally. Okay.
No, but for those people that I think are content where they are, right?
Yeah.
It is that they are not actively seeking that, but as that expands, then they just feel it, then okay. Then, it happened to expand again because life throws a curveball at you, right? Then,
Right.
then I feel it again. Yeah. And there is no desire to, I must have the biggest cup.
I
I
love
must
that.
taste
I
all
think we
Yeah.
reached it, guys.
Yeah, we did
I
it, we
think
did
did it.
Ikigai!
Wow, but if you go travel, you bring this bowl, Shaq. Okay, honestly, like we are just talking about this topic given what we know, right? But I think for a topic like this, right, we want to see like comments so that we can engage with you guys and we want to hear like your thoughts on it as well.
What's your
also,
cup
we are
size?
very grateful for the commenters. I think there are quite a few very active
They type
viewers.
essay.
Ben Wong.
Yeah.
nice.
And we read the comments, we read the
Algo.
comments. Yeah. Not just the algo people, but the people who really take time to write out lengthy
Oh, yeah,
like,
thank you
thoughts
so
and
We
much.
do
whatnot,
read
right?
the comments.
Yeah. So shout out and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah, let us know.
Ciao ciao.
Spend 1 hour, write one essay.
I'm gonna change it, I don't care.
Change what?
The way you say that this is your daily catch up.
Oh, we all got our own one.
What you say?
Your own one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.